guys, it's Kara, and you may have remembered that I got some new ink a couple hauls ago. I bought several from My Favorite Things, and I have several from Hero Arts, especially the shadow ink. And I have had a chance to use them on my cards and other things, and I really just wanted to kind of share with you what I found out about both of these in case you guys are looking for some inks. So I'm going to do a quick review on both of these, and I picked a few colors that are similar. They're not identical, but they're similar, and I thought I would use them on some stamps. I'm going to use two different sets of Paper Smooches stamps to kind of show you. I'm going to use the couple hearts from the Sweethearts set and one of the phrases from Group Hugs so that you can see what they look like, and hopefully you can see. Here they are right here. I'm going to do them all at one time. This is kind of a solid heart, this is an outline of a heart, and then there's the phrase down there. And obviously I've been using these stamps because they're a little stained. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I pulled out a little piece of Nina White, Solar White cardstock. It's a very smooth feeling cardstock, and I thought it would, show the examples pretty well. So I'll start with the My Favorite Things, and this is Razzle Berry, okay? It has a lid that comes off like this. Sometimes they're a little loose, like that. That's one of the things that I'm not a real big fan of because of the way I store my inks. It's not too big of a problem, but if you do yours, where you want it upside down or anything like that, or, a certain angle, you may have an issue, at least on a couple of these, with the lids coming off. Like that. So that being said, let me show you the ink pad itself. It's really nice and it's got a ton of ink in it. It's very wet ink pad. And let me show you. I'm gonna dab some on here. I'm gonna have to put more on the solid heart, so I'll focus on that. Get some on the sentiment. Okay, and I think that's some pretty even coverage. Put that over to the side, and let me put the top on it so I don't lay my arm in there. Okay, and then we're just going to press down, and there you go. Okay, so there is that ink. Let me show you. Great coverage on that solid heart. Really nicely covers up the whole surface, and you get solid ink coverage, and it's a great color. I mean, I'm a fan of pink, as you guys know anyway, but that one looks really good. So let me clean off the stamp, and I will use the Hero Arts color. It's a mid-tone color, and it is ultra pink. So I clean off my stamps with an alcohol-free baby wipe. Let me do that really quickly, and then just make sure it's dry. Okay, and let me show you this one. So this is the Hero Arts container, or the ink pad itself. It also has a lid that comes off, just like that. Okay, it's not hinged or anything, but you can see, at least in this particular example, it's staying on. Okay. It has a really nice, thick, as you can see, felt ink pad. It also is nice and juicy. There's tons of ink on here. Let's ink it up. Again, I'm gonna make sure that I get a lot of ink on this particular solid heart, and I think I probably got a little too much ink on there, at least on the side. And cover that one up. Do this. Now the Hero Arts inks are made in such a way that after they settle, they'll spread out a little bit. But as you can see, it's got really good coverage as well. Obviously, again, these aren't the same colors, so that's why, one is brighter than the other, but that's not what we're comparing here. We're really looking at the coverage. So they're both, pretty nice. Let's do that same thing with different colors. So let me clean off the stamp. And I'll use a green this time so you can kind of see a different color family. Let me make sure that the stamps are not still wet. Okay. It's the back of that same piece of paper, and we have Hero Arts Shadow Ink Field Greens. It's another mid-tone color. And this time for my favorite things, Gumdrop Green. Okay. And you can see, looks the same. Let's do the top test since it's a different ink pad. Okay. Alright. Let's try it one more time. You can see that I'm getting it on there really well. So that top doesn't like to stay on when it's upside down. Again, depending on how you store it, it might not be that big of a deal. Let me get the ink on here really well. Cover up that heart. Remember, this is the My Favorite Things ink, Gumdrop Green. There you go. Now, good solid coverage. That little line in there is going to be my fault because of the way I dabbed on the ink, so don't blame the ink for that, that's me. But you can see nice solid coverage. Did great job on the outline, did a great job on the sentiment. Let's try the Hero Arts. Let me dry it off again. And we'll put on the Field Green. Let's do that lid test again. Not coming off on the Hero Arts, okay? Again, it's a nice felt ink pad. And let's make sure I get lots of coverage on that heart. Okay. And we'll stamp it down. Okay. There's the coverage this time. Now remember, as this ink dries, it's going to fill out a little bit. So it's got really good coverage. And let's look at the one on the back and you should see what I mean. Can you see how that's, most of those little white speckly parts that we had on there before have filled out? Okay. So it's got pretty good coverage. And it could be that I didn't put enough ink right here in the center too. Again, could be user error, but anyway, hopefully this gives you a good look at them. I really like both of the inks myself. I've used both of them quite a bit on some cards. I have pointed out in this video that the lid on the My Favorite Things one can sometimes obviously come loose pretty easily, you know, like I showed you. But having said that, I will still get more of these because I store mine where they sit on top of each other basically. And so the lid issue is not, you know, a concern for me. On top of that, these inks are a lot more affordable than Hero Arts. Hero Arts inks range around these, the shadow inks in the mid-tone are around $6.50 to $7. The My Favorite Things, I believe, are $4.50. And if you wait for one of their sales where they're doing like their 25% off, then it's under $4. So it makes it, you know, very, very affordable. Excuse me. And like I said, the coverage of this ink is excellent. It feels to me almost like working with a chalk ink. It kind of has that more thick consistency, even though these are both supposed to be, this one is supposed to be a dye ink, and Hero Arts is, let's see, I don't think it's going to call itself a dye ink because it has those special properties that help it kind of spread out a little bit after it dries, but it's similar. So depending on, you know, what your concerns are as far as like the lid and that kind of thing, this is probably more affordable. Definitely watch for My Favorite Things when they have their sales because you can get these for you know, well under $4. I only have 6 of these and I plan to get more. I will probably also pick up more of the Hero Arts. I mean, Hero Arts is a high quality brand. I really do like it. And I have a lot more stamps lately, or I've been buying a lot more stamps where I have more solid parts of them, and so I like the fact that as this one dries, it will spread out and kind of cover up some of those white spots that you could potentially get with a dye ink. So, I don't know, as I've kind of been wandering around with this, how much of a helpful review it's been, because basically I like both of them. I've used a variety of inks. I've used Memento, I've used VersaFine, I've used Distress inks, of course, and I would say that these are probably, for just general stamping purposes, two of the best that I've worked with. I really do like both of them. Hero Arts ink is waterproof for watercolors and markers, so you can do that, and it of course is acid-free and archival and fade resistant. And Colorbox is, let's see, it's a dye ink, and it doesn't say on here, but I'm sure it's archival. You can probably read more in the description on their website, but anyway, oops, sorry guys, hopefully that helped you if you're looking for some new ink to try. I would definitely recommend either one of these. Again, they're great for sentiments, they're great for good coverage on more solid stamps, at least in my experience, and I'm looking forward to getting a few more of them. So if you have any questions on any of this, leave them down below, and as always guys, thanks so much for watching. Bye!